Hello guys, Matt here and welcome to a brand new video of top 6 fragrances, and in this episode we are going to be talking about cheap scents. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys 6 fragrances that are very cheap from my fragrance collection. They're all here with me, and I just want to let you know guys that there might be 1 or 2 fragrances here that you might not be able to get where you live because they are rare. I know that one of them is only available in the UK, but I just want to show it for, you know, the shits and giggles. And what I'm also going to be doing is that the whole point of this video is just so you guys can get a feel of that I don't only collect decent priced fragrances, expensive fragrances, but I also really like cheap fragrances as well, because I think that if you're going to collect fragrances you have to have at least 20, maybe 30 cheap fragrances in your collection. So at number 1 is a fragrance that you can only buy here in the UK. And you might be able to get it somewhere else in the world, I'm unsure, but it's a very rare fragrance if it's out of the United Kingdom. In the United Kingdom this is quite popular. It's known as a cheap fragrance which people tend to not pay attention to. This is Rapport. Sorry about the light guys, I know it's really bad. But yeah, I did a review on this guys. Here's a link to it if you guys want to watch that. I did it a couple of months ago, and for a good reason, because this is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled, and that is saying something. Here in the UK you're probably going to spend around £6 for a 100ml bottle. Sometimes you can get it for about the same price as well in a gift set, along with deodorant or shower gel or whatever. I just got this with the bottle on its own, so it didn't really bother me. I also own 2 other Rapport fragrances. I own this one, of course, and I own 2 of the flankers, Sport and Black, which are both very nice fragrances, but this is my favourite out of the 3. It's a very nice fragrance. It's very spicy, warm. It's very different. I don't really know a lot of fragrances like this one, which is awesome because it's cheap and unique, and that doesn't usually happen, because if you find a cheap fragrance it's either going to be a knockoff of something. But with this, absolutely not. This is definitely unique. I really like this one. Whenever I wear it, I always wear it when it's cold, so now that we're coming into the cold months, close to Christmas time, this is going to be perfect. So my first one on the list is Rapport by Eden Classics, and this one was launched back in 1989. I hope you guys are able to check this one out if you get the chance. It's a beautiful fragrance. Number 2 on the list, we're going to be talking about a fragrance from the house of FCUK. Now, I don't actually like this fragrance that much. In fact, it's okay. It's not like a groundbreaking fragrance. I got it as a Christmas present about 5 years ago, and it's been collecting dust in my cabinet since then. I mean, I used to wear it all the time, but until I started being a collector in fragrances, I kind of just left it to rot in the corner of my cabinet. So my bottle's a bit messy, so do forgive me guys. This is a bottle of FCUK Friction for Men. It's not a terrible fragrance. It's quite clean, it's citrusy, you know, there's a lot of nice notes in there, quite floral as well, but it just doesn't last long, and I think that's the reason why I don't like it. It was good for a kind of starter fragrance, you know, when I didn't really have anything to really spray on myself when I went out places and stuff. It was alright for that, but now that I've started becoming more interested in fragrances, I've then realised that this is actually a piece of crap. Just because the longevity is really bad on it. I'm not actually sure if this one is still in production, guys, but I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got a really nice smell, don't get me wrong, it smells great. It's just the longevity, it really sucks. It smells like clean, it's a nice smell to spray on yourself when you get out of a shower. I guess that's the only good thing about it. So, yeah. Number 2, FCUK Friction. Next on the list, one of my favourite fragrances of all time, Quorum by Antonio Puig. Now, this one's in the list because, simply, it is cheap. I paid around £8 for this bottle, and to be honest with you, it's just great value for money, because this is a powerhouse fragrance, which means it's strong. It's also barbershop, which means it's very classic, it's clean, and it just gives you that really kind of nice, well-groomed shave kind of smell. So it's a beautiful fragrance, lasts a hell of a long time too. Everything about this fragrance is just top A class, and for a cheap price you can't go wrong. I did a review for this fragrance, guys. Here's the link, please check it out. So yeah, Quorum by Antonio Puig. This is definitely one worth checking out if you're into your powerhouse fragrances, your strong, even classic fragrances. It's definitely worth it. And not just that, I mean, it's also a beautiful bottle. Just gives you that kind of classic look. It's gorgeous. So yeah, guys, number 3 goes to Quorum by Antonio Puig. Number 4 is a classic fragrance. Everyone knows this as being a cheapie, but everyone loves it. This is Old Spice. And you can get this for very cheap. I think I paid around £5 for this bottle, and this is a 150ml aftershave. Absolutely love this stuff. In fact, this fragrance reminds me of my grandfather, so it brings back lovely memories every time I smell it. And that's the reason why I've got it in my collection. It's a really nice smell, you know, it's got a classic vibe to it. It's also very clean. I like to use this when I shave. It just, you know, it really works well on your skin as well. It's just a beautiful fragrance. I really, really like this one. I believe Schulten used to make this. It's now made by Procter & Gamble. And yeah, it's just a classic fragrance. I've done a review for this as well, guys. Please check it out. Here's a link. Thank you very much. So yeah, guys, number 4 goes to Old Spice by Procter & Gamble. And now we come to the last 2. Now here we have another one which I've reviewed. So here's the link for it. Jovan Musk. This is, without a doubt, a classic, legendary aftershave. Because it's just beautiful. Literally, it's a beautiful fragrance. It's warm, it's romantic, it's woody, it's spicy. It's got everything that you want to feel masculine. It's not like a strong smell, so it's nothing like an Aramis or Kouros or a Lapidus Pour Homme or anything like that. If anything, it's got like a nice orangey kind of vibe to it, which I cannot argue against because, you know, it is an orange fragrance. But no, I think it's orange because of the classic look and a lot of 70s fragrances, because this was launched back in 1973, so a lot of fragrances back then had really obscure colours to them. And I think it's nice. I really like the colour of it, and I think it really works. But it's a beautiful fragrance, and it just works perfectly for that evening romantic kind of setting. It's gorgeous. So yeah, guys, number 5, Jovan Musk. Now we come to the last one. Now this one was interesting for me because I wasn't sure whether or not to involve it in any of my videos, because the version I have of this fragrance is absolutely poor in terms of projection and longevity. But I know it's a classic, and it would be weird for me not to put it in this video because it is extremely cheap, especially here in the UK. And I know that when I've been to the States, it's also been very cheap on Walmart shelves, you know, so yeah, it's a Walmart fragrance, so you know, you will know it. This is Brut, and this is the, I believe this is the UK Unilever version. Glass bottle. It does have that classic green colour to it. It actually is a very nice bottle. The cap also screws very nicely on and off. The smell is not strong. It's not strong, and I always remembered Brut to being this really strong fragrance because my father used to wear this, and whenever he would go out, he would always splash it on himself in the bathroom, and then I would go into the bathroom maybe like an hour or 2 hours later and I'd still be able to smell it in the air. So it used to have brilliant sillage, but now not so much. I think it's just watered down. There's nothing special about it. I mean, when I'm smelling it there, I am still getting that, you know, typical Brut fragrance, but it's just not as strong. It's just a typical watered down version of the original. And I don't really like it, if I'm honest with you. It doesn't really work. I don't really see the point in it because, you know, you're meant to smell a fragrance after all. With this, it doesn't really work. I do have a flanker of this though. I do have a one called Brut Sport version, which in fact is very nice, and it's if you guys haven't seen it, it's like a blue color. It's actually really nice, but yeah, it's disappointing. I'm not really happy with this one. But whatever, it is what it is, and it's a classic after all. And you know, I mean, 1965 this was launched, so you know, you're talking a long time, talking 50 years, something like that. So yeah, it's a very old fragrance, but doesn't really work for me. I'm not a fan. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to Fragrance Matt. If you guys have anything at all to ask me, or just to say anything in general, please just comment below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Take care now. Good night.